Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I don't have a yoga mat because my wet dog laid on it. And I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of gross, kind of stinky, kind of hairy, he has mange, just skin flakes all over my yoga mat. But that's my fault for leaving it out, and it's his fault. Despite having 3 dog beds to choose from, the yoga mat is flat, relatively uncomfortable compared to 8-inch memory foam mattresses I have for this dog. Is not that comfortable, but for him, it is the height of luxury to lay where I lay, right? Well, thank you for coming out here with me, watching for a second or watching for the whole thing. Who cares? You do what you got to do. It's your life, you live it. I'm not going to tell you how to. You can join me though right now, wherever you are, in a little meditation here. So let's use that lowercase m meditation here. We're gonna do a little thing I do. I stream between, I guess, sometimes in the middle of a stream, if I feel, I have no better word for it, but bothered or upset or distracted, I like to ground back out, or at least try to ground back out so I have somewhere to work from, or an easier place to like reconnect. And most of the time I'm streaming games. Sometimes I stream other stuff, but usually I'm streaming games. And, you know, ultimately, a lot of times when you're gaming, it feels like there's a vibe can be disrupted, or at least I feel like that way. Not always when you're winning or losing or whatever, but like sometimes it just feels like you need a little energetic shift to, like, as I said before, ground it back out and find a nice place to be so that you can, appreciate the time you're spending in a meaningful capacity. And honestly, I've even before yoga, I kind of did that with a lot of stuff, just at like work or whatnot. If things were going rough, or I was distracted, or I felt overly angry, or overly really anything, I would do something like just a couple push-ups to, like, reset everything, so to speak. And sometimes that's all it takes, just, literally do some physical energy thing. Especially with gaming, you sit there sometimes for just 10 minutes, you get in your first game, you get your ass kicked, and you're like, I'm not, you know what? Maybe today's not the day. Other times you grind it out for a few hours or anything, because, a lot of stuff we do involves computers and phones. You spend a lot of time on it, and you kind of forget, like, hey, you know what? I haven't gotten any exercise in 5 hours. Maybe I should do that. So this kind of ties into that. But I just want to do a little. The one day there's a bobtack driving by. Kind of interesting. I wonder if it's getting picked up. If it is, that's what that is. If you didn't know what the hell that sound is, I promise you, I'm not sitting in a hydraulic press factory. I'm actually next to a lake, near the woods. Hopefully, not getting covered in ticks. I did spray myself with something, but let's get into it. Wherever you are, if you can kind of get in a nice, easy sitting position. And if you're not, if you're, I don't know, maybe you're at a computer desk or you're in line at a Subway, Eat Fresh, shout out. You can just imagine. You don't have to do everything here. You can just think. That's the magical thing about being human beings. One of our main powers is the ability to think, right? So let's take a second to just, channel in this. I'm sitting on a slope kind of, so I might fall over. It's okay to laugh if you think that's funny. It's not okay to think that you wouldn't fall over if you're on the slope. We're just going to take some nice deep breaths through the nose, just, sucking in everything around you, whether you're sniffing in some farts or some fresh lakeside air. Let it in, welcome it into your body a little more, and hold that in there for a little bit. Let it hang out. Let it just be a part of you, and let it out. Let's do that a couple more times here. And just really waft it in, suck in that energy. it out. Let it out. Oh, it's actually kind of like beyond lovely today. It's been like 100+ degrees where I'm at for like the last, it felt like the end of the entire month of July. And recently, kind of, I don't know if I exposed myself to enough heat or it's actually chilled out. But right now, I know I'm sitting in the shade, so it's kind of cheating, but it doesn't feel like I'm being smothered inside of a air fryer. It feels like the sun is just giving life. And that's it. No bonus death if you stay out into it long. So this one's gonna be pretty easy. We're not doing anything too crazy. I like to just do a little physical movement to get the blood flowing. I got a little sore spot in my back because I've been a little bit lazy the last few days. So I'm gonna work that out. We're gonna bring ourselves to our hands and knees here and really just push these palms of your hand firmly into the surface that you are on and kind of just feel it out. Maybe you got a knot in your back like I do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just need a wiggle waggle, your little life's dance, if you will. There's always trying to stay stiff and sturdy and strong. Sometimes you need to limber up. So do a little shoulder shrugging here. And then make sure your knees are also pressing firmly in and the top of your feet pressing down too. And I want you to pretend you are a cat and you're about to do one of those nice, I just woke up stretches here. Yeah. Maybe even rest your head on the ground if you can. If not, just hold in here like that and kind of like push your hips back, your butt back, and really let it go. And make sure to keep breathing like I am right now. Let's bring it back up. The cat has done stretching. And now we want to look up. Oh, yeah. They say pigs can't see the sky. So the only way you can do it is by picking them up and making them look towards the sky. But unfortunately, we're not pigs, so we can just look up whenever we want. And right now, we want to look up and stretch back. Oh, and we look down, do the opposite. I bet pigs have never seen their stomachs either. So, here's another flex against those damn dirty pigs. You can just look back down. Maybe look down your shirt like I can right now. And ATTIC. Ooh, third grade me would have lost his shit hearing that right now. But let's look back up again. And looks like the cat is about to stretch again. Hear the pop. That's nice, isn't it? If you got a moment for yourself, anytime, you should take it. Doesn't matter when or where. Doesn't matter what you can or can't do. But if you got a moment for yourself, you should just take it. I'm gonna take one for myself right here. I'm just enjoying the sun. I hear grasshoppers trying to fuck in the background. I don't really care much for that. They kind of disgust me. But they're doing their own thing and it's not next to me. So I should appreciate that, You don't always have control over the grasshoppers. And then whenever you do, it's usually just killing them, which is kind of, fucked. They're not trying to do anything too wild. I hear they taste good. I'll have to try them sometime. Oh, and there's one cicada. Let's walk out of that a little bit. And I just feel my arms need a little push. So I'm just going to do a couple push-ups. You can push up too, however you like, however's comfortable. Wide stance, nice and close, tight in the middle, one-handed if you're real wild. I'm kind of a fat Midwestern guy, so the one-arm push-up's just not going to be happening here. And if you expect that of me, you can Just keep expecting that because it's not happening right now. Oh yeah, it's kind of weird doing it on a slope too. Okay, that's a little nice. Now, as I said before, taking a moment for yourself. What does that mean? What do I mean by that, at least? Probably means a lot of different things for different people. Sometimes taking a moment for yourself is smoking a cigarette. Sometimes taking a moment for yourself is just not talking or looking at a phone, just, dead eye staring at a wall. Sometimes taking a moment for yourself is going out for a gallon of milk and never coming back. That's a lot longer than a moment. But what I mean is taking anywhere between 1 minute to 10 minutes to just genuinely just feel how you feel and notice what you notice. Use your senses, whichever ones are available to you, or as many as are available to you, and then purposely not using them. So you can lay down or you can sit however's comfortable. Maybe you're at a desk. All I'm going to ask you to do is to just close your eyes, assuming you need to close them. Get comfortable, or as comfortable as you can get wherever you are. Maybe you're inside 120-degree room, Fahrenheit for you Celsius people out there, not Celsius. If you're in the 120 degree Celsius room, you are allowed to scream right now, in agony and pain, because you are literally being burned alive. But for everyone who's in reasonable town, welcome population you, shut down your gaze, close your eyes, and just fucking listen. What do you hear? I hear the wind picking up. I hear water splashing. I hear vehicles driving over the bridge next to me. What do you hear? I hear birds. I hear grasshoppers. I hear cicadas. I hear a lot of cicadas. I wonder if they just picked up because they heard somebody say they're going to be listening. Joke's on them. I'm not going to have sex with any of those cicadas. They can't attract me. I'm not attracted to bugs. Joke's on them. They better work on their song. Better bust out some Justin Timberlake or something out there. I don't know. Where you're at. Enough about me. Where you're at. What do you hear? Your PC fans, an air conditioner. Maybe the apartment above you is yelling. Maybe you're at a park. You can hear children playing and people getting exercise or jogging. Maybe you're like me at a lake right now and you hear a mixture of nature and mankind. And I'm not going to say beautiful symphony, but symphony nonetheless. You can pause if you want, or you can just keep going. But I recommend doing this a couple times a day. Just plain old listening. Not necessarily listening for a specific thing as much as just listening for the sake of, you know, taking a base sense that most of us have the fortune to have, uh, and just using it how you might have in a previous life or in a different time. So often you try to guide what comes into your life, and so often you try to guide what goes into your ears. So maybe sometimes it's nice to just hear. After a little bit of that, let's move on to another sense. Smell. Now, as you could probably tell by me sniffling and sucking in what sounds like I'm sucking through a sponge in my nose. I've recently been sick, so some of my smelling is down, but there is some. Now, there's a lot of ways we go about this. You could do an exaggerated, just suck in that air. What do you smell? I really don't smell much. Just grass and the light fish smell of, a lake. Let me sniff more. I can smell my 608s. Um, these shoes I've worn for about 8 months, almost every single day, walking literally hundreds of miles in them. They got a scent to them. I have worn these without socks, so maybe you got smelly ass fucking feet, and you can smell that right now. Maybe, maybe you don't. Maybe you have wonderful, awesome feet that you take care of properly, and shoes that don't smell like the inside of a gym locker. I am near a campsite. I can sort of smell old burning wood. I don't know if you can say ash technically has a smell. Some fruit from a tree next to me. I don't know what kind of fruit. Looks like I don't know, walnut or oak, something, I don't know, or another. I don't know my nature that well, if I'm being honest. One of these thingies. Hopefully this is picked up. Little green ball. Someday it'll be a tree or food or nothing, just like all of us. All your own body odor or musk if you like it. Maybe you're in an apartment complex. Maybe you can smell what your neighbor cooked for dinner last night. I'm gonna lay back down here and move on to another sense here. Feeling. It's a classic. It's one of the main ones that helps us tell what's going on, right? For some homeostasis. Is it cold? Is it hot? Ooh, oven hot. Burn, burn. Ooh, it's cold as shit in North Dakota in February. I can't feel my finger. Gonna have to cut it off. Like, just feel your surroundings. Not just the obvious places like hands right now. Let's think about hands. You can feel like a fabric you're touching or a surface you're touching. Is this wood or metal or cotton or polyester or 100% recycled hemp? You fucking hippie. What are you feeling? Maybe you got your own hands rubbing against your own hands. That's a nice feeling sometimes. You can feel whatever calluses or lack thereof on them. You can feel maybe, oh, I haven't washed my hands a little bit. There's a little grit in there. Or I picked up a rock earlier and they're so dry and crispy. And maybe take the feeling away from the hands to some place you really probably never think about, your elbows. What the hell is your elbow touching right now? Is it touching anything at all? Is it just in the cold air? Maybe you got long sleeves on. You can just feel the fabric on your elbow. Away from the elbow, up to the shoulders. I'm sensing a lot of tension here. No, but like, what do you feel there? If you're like me, you're laying down, I can feel the weight, I guess regular gravity on them from the front. On the back side, I feel this U-Haul blanket I'm laying on. And it feels like a mix of, I guess, just a regular blanket and potentially itchy. That's on my mind now. And I hope I don't make you feel itchy just by mentioning it. But that's how that goes. In the neck, in the back. What do those feel like? Have you been carrying a lot of weight recently? Do you stand up straight? Are you full shrimping it at that desk? What are you doing? What are you doing? How are you doing? What's your back tell you? What's your neck tell you? You look up a lot. You look down a lot. Is everything you handle in a convenient place for you? Let's skip down to the feet. My feet are sideways right now, so I'm feeling the tops of my feet on this blanket. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting place because you know, a lot of times tops of your feet aren't being touched by you or anything else for that matter usually. So just interesting to feel that. I can feel the heat generating from the sun onto it. Okay, maybe let's try the bases of it. What calluses, bunions? Maybe nothing. Maybe you got comfortable feet. Like I can right now. I'm on a hill, so I can feel some rocks and sticks poking at me a little bit. It doesn't hurt. It's not hurting at all. It's just uh, not the ideal surface to be on, right? I like to, you know, barefooted occasionally, get some good old fashioned grounding if you've ever heard of that. A lot of times the compartments of shoes contain a lot of what doesn't need to be contained always. You know, I'm an advocate of shoes and work boots for safety, but you know, whenever you get a chance, you should kick those bad boys off and just feel the earth beneath your feet, good old fashioned way, like all the other animals. So what have we done here? We've heard, we've smelt, we've felt. Some other senses, aren't there? Well, we're not going to do taste, but I am going to sit up. I'm going to check this, make sure my camera's still going. It looks like she is. Good, good, good. We're not going to taste. But if you have it in your repertoire, please open those eyes and witness the world around you. Take a second to look the fuck around. What do we got here? I'm out in nature. Maybe you're not in nature, which that doesn't mean anything. You can find what you want to look for, and you can also just see what's there wherever you are or whenever you are. And so I got my obvious ones. I'll just do my little checklist here. I got obviously some fucking trees. No shit. You're in a forest. I can't see the forest because all I can see is trees. We got some other vegetation I can't recognize. A bunch of grass that's trying not to die. We got dirt, sticks. I don't see any right now, but there's probably a few million insects just all over the place. I bet if I took a scoop of dirt out of here, there'd be a bunch of damn ants. All other than that, there's a couple butterflies flying by me. I see a spider's web. Oh, those are the obvious things. Now, what about the unobvious things? Um, this blanket is covered in dog hair, as all things that I own are. And you know what? That doesn't bother me. That's fine. You know, if I didn't like dogs, I wouldn't let their hair be on everything because I wouldn't have dogs. Um, Looking at myself, even, I got a toenail I need to clip. That's pretty bad. That shit could cut through a fucking Titanic and sink it. So better trim that when I get home, you know. Hands, they look okay. You got a little shorts are kind of dirty. Sky is clear and blue as can be. The sun, don't look at that. And if you do, don't look at it very long or wear the proper eye protection because it will destroy your eyesight. I see my shoes. There's a fun little thing you can do. Look at something you've looked at every day. Got this 608 here, this New Balance. It's a classic shoe for a classic man. I can look at it and make assumptions about myself or where I've been. Like, for example, the bottom of it at the toe is kind of worn out. I must be a toe walker because there's like almost no tread there. You definitely can see Abe Lincoln's entire head. And the sides of it, you can tell I've mowed grass because it's got that, you know, that green chloroform kind of stain going on there. And my laces, they're pretty muddy. This is a definitely a just goer kind of shoe right now. And then the tongue, I know I'm touching it and I'm cheating right now a little bit, but do this with your environment. You can look at stuff and feel it. Oh, sorry. Clip you back on. I got a bone right here. I don't know what kind of bone. I don't know if it's from a fish or something, but there's a bone laying on the ground. That's kind of fun. Fun for the whole family. Maybe you're at a desk. Do you see? We'll go for the obvious ones people usually go for. Oh, my desk is dirty. Do you see that? You're like, man, I should clean that. Stop thinking that right now. Just enjoy that. Oh, there's a cup. That was a nice cup of milk I had, or 10. Maybe there's a little dust in your keyboard. Maybe your keyboard's clean and spotless. Maybe you press a key if you got an RGB one and it's blinking. Just take a second to admire how much shit you can see. There's so much. Even you can't see it, but on the other side is just an empty field in front of me. And like even that, what just looks like grass and dirt, there's a lot of stuff going on there, right? Um, and it's easy to miss that because most of the time it doesn't matter. Like most of the time you're going somewhere and doing something. So you're like, I don't give a shit about this in between bullshit. Like I just care about where I'm going. And sometimes you need to, stop, take a look around, see what's going on, see what's happening, see what those fucking ants are up to. Why are they marching in a line? What crumbery have they found? And then, sorry, I'm gross today. Uh, embrace a little moment of not looking at anything but looking at everything. That was be like a a dristy gaze. You just don't try to have a single focus point. Just let your body sort of, if you can, let your body look at everything and nothing at once. Sometimes it's kind of funny because I think of two times that you see people do this naturally. And one of them would be when they're very distraught or upset in some way, shape, or form. And the other one would just be you just smoked a shit ton of weed and you can't focus, like your mind's just everywhere. But right now we're not doing. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know what you're doing. What are you up to, cowboy? But just here, letting go. You got these senses. You don't have to control them all the time. Sometimes you let them do their own thing, and maybe they'll make themselves clear. Let the eye wander off to wherever it wants to. Let it see everything, like I said, and nothing. Uh, no singular focal point. There's so much detail in this world. It's kind of funny with like video games where you have to wait for shit to render in sometimes, and like textures and details will come in later, but the main form will be there. Well, imagine right now you just want this world to be all main forms, just a general idea of the thing, not the whole thing. You don't have to know every individual leaf to know it's a tree. Sorry, sound caught me. So that's what I'm talking about right now. I heard some animal move in the trees next to me. Hopefully not a Bigfoot. That'd be very terrible if there's a Bigfoot over there and I'm impeding on his territory. They're very territorial creatures, or so I'm told. Not that I know where the Bigfoot is or how much cheeseburgers it would eat to get full. And just let it wander. And then maybe you let it wander for a little bit. And maybe you want to focus on something again. Um, Here's a little challenge. If you're in a place you are almost all of the time, say like maybe you're at home somewhere, at work, or maybe you went to a park like I did. Uh, if you're somewhere where you regularly go or you regularly find yourself, I want you to take a moment to look at stuff you've seen all the damn time and look for something different about it or something unique about it. I don't really care what it is, and you shouldn't either. You should just try it. Maybe you're at work and there's screwdrivers. Maybe take a second to look at a screwdriver and what is unique about this particular screwdriver. Or if you're at a desk or laying in bed or something, look at the popcorn ceiling or look at your mouse and see what wear and tear exist on these things. Maybe you're at a kitchen table. Examine an apple. Look at that. Look at that son of a look at look at that apple and just admire it. Uh, Pay attention. Is there any bruises on it? What can you tell about this apple just by looking at it from your knowledge base, from what you know to be true? It's pretty good, right? Pretty good. My gaze is focused again, and I notice that a little beyond the horizon, there's heat lines. I don't remember the actual term for it, but it looks like a cookie sheet when you're taking it out of the oven, where there's just a bunch of heat radiating off of it, where it's making the area behind it all blurry. So that's really interesting to witness, and I guess it's a testament to how hot it actually is out today. Versus, I thought it was pretty chill out today, but the results have come back and have confirmed that that is a lie. And one last little thing here. So you can lay down and relax again, just a little reminder. Sitting, standing, or laying down, whatever. Before I go, I want to leave you with one last thing here. I want you to join with me in a little bit of breathing here. Let's take some big inhales, hold it for a little bit, and let it all out after that. So just again, in through the nose. And one more time, suck in the air of the day that you're in. Let it out. And remember, wherever you are or whatever you're doing, you always have that. You always have your breath. Unless you're like 40 feet underwater at the bottom of a lake, then you don't. In which case, I hope you're a free diver and you're a trained expert, or you have scuba gear. But outside of that extreme scenario, you can always take a moment for yourself, appreciate what's around you, appreciate yourself, and find a little bit of joy. Thank you.